Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kim Walgren. I'm the editor of Wood Floor Business. And today we have two experts from Podium. We have Pat Johnson and Jason Reese. And they're going to explain for us the basics of text messaging and why it can be a super effective way to market your business. So before I turn it over to them, just to let you know that if you have any questions during their presentation, you can enter those into the questions panel on the right of your screen. So I will turn it over to Pat and Jason.
Awesome, Kim, thank you. And hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited to be here. My name is Pat Johnson. I'm a product marketing manager with Podium. I have the pleasure of talking to you guys with my good friend, Jason Reese, who's the director of sales for Podium. Jason, you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah. So Jason, director of sales here. Been at Podium for almost 4 years now, and have been running and leading our sales team that sells strictly to home services companies and flooring companies. And so we've learned a lot about these companies and have made adjustments to our product based on what we learned. And excited to share some of the things that we've learned and what makes a lot of these flooring companies more successful than others with utilizing text messaging and text marketing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jason. And on my side, my role is really one of my favorite ones at Podium, or one of the best jobs at Podium, one of the best jobs I can think of, actually. I work really closely with the home services customers of ours, understanding the market trends, understanding what they need from our product, how we can help them, really understanding the pain points of the business. And we're well aware that there are no shortages of pain points in home services right now. So we wanted to take this opportunity to kind of talk to you guys about how potentially SMS marketing can play a really critical role, especially during these crazy COVID times. So let's jump into the agenda real quick. We're going to talk through a couple different things. Now, I'm sure nearly everyone on this call is familiar with email marketing. It's probably something that you implement in your business. We want to talk to you about some of the similarities, differences, where text messaging can kind of maybe provide some sort of advantage in your market, kind of talk through all that. We'll then get into the really sexy topic of compliance, making sure that, like any other channel, there are rules and regulations around how text messaging can work in a business setting, in a business communication. We want to make sure that you're aware of those, make sure that you're not terrified to the point of not doing anything, because it's really not that scary. We just want to kind of bust some myths, tell you what is true, what's not true in the SMS marketing world. And then we'll kind of dive into some best practices, show you what good looks like, what it doesn't look like, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. So feel free to be firing off those questions in the question panel, and we're going to get started right away. So let's chat, and this is kind of the, kind of a leading statement, but when was the last time that you sent an email to your marketing database and you got a 98% open rate? The fact is that it was never, unless you were one of the very, very, very first people that were using email for your marketing method, potentially 2-3 decades ago. That's just not the case. People don't open emails anymore, and that couldn't be more true now. As a marketer, when I talk to my team who's sending off our marketing emails from Podium and I hear, wow, this one got a 21% open rate, that's show-stopping. If 1 in 5 people open our emails, we did something so right. That's crazy, right? You have all these names in your database and only 1/5 of them are opening it and you're praising it. That feels like baseball, right? You get on base 1 every 3 times, you're in the Hall of Fame. That's not going to work for marketing. And so as we look at where texting is these days, that 98% number, hang on to that in your mind, because we're going to dive into that a little bit more. But I love this kind of idea. Obviously, Office fans, if you're here, you're very likely an Office fan. We've all heard the term when a meeting could have been an email, right? Why is that? It's because an email gives it to you in a set place. It's short, it's asynchronous. You don't have to take time out of someone's day. But here's the thing, even email now seems cumbersome, right? If you think about, if you click into your email inbox, and I do this every time I bring this up, if I look at my Gmail on my phone right now, 4,322 unread emails. I'm not going to go through those. There are tons of marketers working really hard, tons of businesses just like yours working really hard to get my attention, crafting those emails, spending time understanding what they want to put in there, what offers they want to put, and I'm just not looking at it. So keep that in mind. because in reality, that could have been a text message. SMS marketing, as it says here on the slide, really is the fastest way to get to your customer. If you think about your own interactions or your families or your friends, your text message inbox is really an intimate place. That's really somewhere where you have your most important conversations. And so as you think about it from the business perspective, wouldn't that be awesome real estate to take a hold of, to have a place within that text message inbox? It's so helpful. And so Podium was really founded on that idea that text messaging in general, not even text message marketing, really is the way of communication that is landing in the market right now. And we're really moving forward with that. And as we continue to iterate on that, SMS marketing is becoming a really innovative and effective way to run your promotional campaigns. And so we're going to kind of talk through some stats here around why that's so important. And I'm going to turn it over to Jason to kind of level set with you around email and kind of set that standard and then compare it to text down the line. So Jason, I'll hand it off to you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Pat. And I apologize, my voice is a little coarse. I was at the Utah Jazz game last night with the Phoenix Suns, and if any of you are basketball fans or watch that, the Suns are very good, and I'm a Jazz fan, and there was a lot of booing from my side to the Suns. Jazz lost, but it was fun. Anyway, so email by the numbers. Again, love this topic. And email is something that we do see a lot of home services and flooring companies they're doing that. The systems that you use have a lot of email capabilities in them, which is nice in one sense. But when you dig into the numbers, the open rate is, the average number is 18% is what we're seeing. So less than 1 in 5. But depending on the demographic, could be a lot less than that as well. And I'm sure a lot of you are like me, and I could show you my phone, and I have thousands of unread emails. I almost look at none of them, right? And then the click-through rate, which is even the more important piece, is even lower. So yeah, it's an issue in today's world for today's business owners of how to get through to customers, because customers do want to hear from you, and they want to hear marketing messages too when there's specials going on or whatever it may be. They want to hear from you, but you got to meet them where they're going to see it. And so that's why we love the text messaging capabilities. So as far as other marketing methods, we see businesses doing a number of things. So another one is direct mail. So sending out postcards or whatever it may be. That's got a higher open rate, but typically a lot more expensive than email is. And it's still not that great of an open rate. And again, I always recommend put yourself in the customer's shoes. I have a mailbox at my house. It's like, it's not right in front of my house. I have to walk over. It's kind of a little mailbox area that everybody's mailboxes are. And you use your key, open it up. And you know what's right there? A garbage can inside the mailbox area so that everyone can open their mail, pull out the junk mail, and put it in the garbage can, and then go back to their house. So that could be happening too, right? That's the world we're living in. And so direct mail is not super effective as well. And the response rate, again, less than 2%. So not great. And then, yeah, moving on to texting, 98% average open rate. And you put yourself in your own shoes, you look at your text messages, how often do you have a little red badge that says unread message? Almost never. And when you do, how quick do you actually open it? And from our studies, 95% of all texts are opened within 3 minutes. So really quickly. Really high response rate on these. So 209% higher than email or Facebook or a number of other messages. And consumers really like texting. Based on our studies that we put out there, like what is your preference? And consumers by and large prefer texting today and think it's just more convenient in the busy world we all live today. So other numbers here, and you can kind of read them. 75% okay with receiving text from brands or companies that they've worked with. And that's huge, especially when we talk about text marketing. So if you came in and did my flooring, you know, in my bathroom or in the kitchen or whatever, right? I've created a relationship with you. I'm opting in and would love to hear from you about other services you may offer, right? Now, this is where there's a lot of strategy on how you market, but consumers are okay and like receiving those text messages from a local business that they created that relationship with, and they prefer it more than anything else. And as far as like coupons and things and getting actually getting that redeemed, I think of like the direct mail, where it's like a little clip coupon or your email. Just a way, again, 10x the number of redemption on that for any sort of promotion that you're going to be running. So pretty powerful numbers there that make a big difference. And then going on as far as other marketing campaigns that you can run, you know, as far as cost go and the value you're going to get, by and large, SMS texting, you know, with Podium is the cheapest, right? And I put quotes on cheapest because it's like the value behind it is insane compared to a lot of the other methods out there. Actually, this is a funny story as far as marketing methods go, because we're talking about email, direct marketing. There was a guy on my team that talked to a business. This was maybe a week or two ago, that was spending like $500-600 a month on advertisements for like public restrooms in restaurants, just like putting it up, you know, behind the urinal. So yeah, a lot of money spent. How do you track the ROI on that? I don't know, tough to do, but like you put that into a direct campaign message that you're messaging someone specifically for a specific reason, like for example, someone that you did the flooring or tile or whatever it is in their bathroom, right? And you market them a year later on their kitchen and you already got the relationship. Like that is way better money spent with a much higher response rate. So yeah, pretty cool stuff there. So text with the next slide, just showing how underutilized it is today. You know, based on a lot of these numbers that we shared, and that's what consumers want and prefer, what businesses are actually doing, you can see on this pie chart where texting just really isn't happening that much in general, and with promotions. Like there's a lot more going out with the direct messages or TV ads or other things like the bathroom promos, right? And that's not where the customers necessarily are and are responding. So it's a good thing to point out there. And yeah, with the next slide here, just, you know, with businesses, and this is the big thing that I like to focus on, you know, when we're talking to a business and going through the sales process, is there's what you would prefer as a business, of course, right? You can have your business processes and make things easy for you as a business. And that's good. But if that's not aligned with where trends are going and what consumers are wanting, you're really limiting your own growth as a business and kind of what you can offer. And if you don't, then other businesses are going to pop up and they're going to innovate and you'll be left behind. So that's one of our big things at Podium and on the sales team is let's keep you competitive in this super competitive environment and market we're in. And yeah, you can see, yeah, this next slide, we just show like, hey, the competitive market we're in and the expectation consumers have is really due to some of the biggest companies, you know, in America and really the world, you know, providing that convenience factor. And that's where, you know, small businesses, you can do that too and provide that convenience factor. So converting more leads through text, big thing. So subscribers, and this is where Pat will get into like compliance, but we want to get you more subscribers, which ultimately more customers and more sales. And that's the big focus that Podium has and that we've learned how to do really, really well. But you want to be compliant. You don't want to get in trouble. So with that, I'll pass it back to Pat to talk about the compliance part of texting.
Yeah, Jason, thanks so much. And two things. One, I was having a little technical difficulty on the slides here, but this one was a huge one, and I want to kind of echo what Jason said, and apologies for kind of having a keyword freak out there. But you know, when you look at these types of businesses, the fact is your customer is also these businesses' customers. And whether they're a direct competitor or not, they're clearly not if you look across that slide. But they've set a standard that whether you asked for it or not, they're expecting through every business that they get now. One-click purchases, you know, same-day deliveries, you know, service delivery fees being wiped, you name it. That is now the new standard. And there are ways, it's easy for the small business of any kind, and especially in something like flooring. It's easy to feel like, oh, well, that's so far removed from me. It's really not, but it's also not unachievable for you to provide that type of white glove, you know, red carpet experience for your customers in your particular line of work too. So I really think, you know, we kind of call this the world of on-demand everything and personalization, and that's really a key place where you can start to differentiate, especially in your own industry. And there are tools out there and strategies out there that will help you do that. One of them being SMS marketing, and a huge component of that is compliance. Now, there could not be a more boring word to start a section, and I understand that, so please don't tune me out. We're going to try to make this fun, because the fact of the matter is Jason just walked through an incredible amount of research and data and proof points that show this is a really powerful tool, and this is a huge opportunity for any business to take on. If you're able to intelligently bring SMS marketing into your marketing strategy, the power there and the opportunities are actually astonishing. And with that, you know, the world is starting to take notice of that, just like they did with email a few decades ago. And as such, there need to be regulations on that. You get spam in your email inbox all the time, I'm sure. The same thing is going to happen in SMS marketing unless there are regulations in place. And that's really what it's there for. It's not to make this a big scary topic for you. It's not to, you know, decentivize you or incentivize you to not use SMS marketing. It's here to make sure that you're being a good marketer. If you're following the rules, if you're intelligently marketing and understanding what your customer would want to hear from you and how often and all that kind of stuff, you're never going to run into any of the compliance issues. But it's important for us as a company that does offer a service like that to walk through this really quick. So we're going to keep this fun. We're not going to scare you. We're not going to bore you to death. If we do, I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to make this fun. The law, if you're in the United States, which I'm sure most everybody here is, the law that you need to keep in mind is TCPA, the Telephone Consumer Protection Act. That is basically just a set of laws or set of guidelines to protect consumers from spam in their text inbox, and that includes phone calls as well. But for our purposes, we're going to talk about text today. That's just saying, hey, they need to, your end audience, the person receiving the text, needs to have given you consent to send these texts. You also need to follow a couple rules about how frequently, what type of stuff you send in there. Is it safe? Is there anything kind of fishy going on? That's everything that TCPA is trying to do. There are some penalties and ramifications for businesses who don't follow it. But again, if you're marketing as you should, as you want your business to be presented, this really isn't that scary. So don't think of this as guidelines that you really need to bump up against. Just think about what your customer wants, and I'm sure you're going to be in line. But we'll walk through a couple things. So transactional versus promotional. Big thing to keep in mind here. So you may think that any text message, we've been talking about text messaging a lot, and we're talking about marketing. You may think that any text message to your customers could fall into TCPA, and to an extent it can, but really TCPA is in place for promotional messaging. That means if you are trying to market to your audience, so that could be a promotion, a discount, anything along those lines, something that's not directly related to an interaction that you're having with your potential customer. So let's say that someone reaches out to your business, they get your textable phone number, and they text your business and say, hey, I have, something is wrong, I need something done on my floors. Do you have anyone who could come out and visit me? that's a transactional text message. You can respond to that. No worries about TCPA. That's two people talking. One of them happens to be with a business. That's the same for appointment reminders. It's the same for updates on any sort of deliveries, any sort of Google reviews. Surprisingly, that one is kind of a gray area, but it actually is a transactional message because there was a transaction done. It's just a follow-up on that. So it's not a marketing message. It's related to a transaction or an experience they already had with you. And then NPS scores, CSAT scores, customer insights, anything along those lines, all fair game. Don't need to really worry about TCPA there because they're just conversations. So with that in mind, let's now talk about those promotional messages. And Jason, I'm going to hand it over to you here, I believe, my friend, and we're going to kind of talk through a few of the myths around SMS marketing and why they may not exactly be true.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Pat. So first myth, SMS marketing always gets businesses in trouble. That is false. No, SMS marketing doesn't get you in trouble. It's there, like Pat was saying, like there's laws and regulations there, so that the businesses that do it right can still see a lot of value from it, and that consumers don't lose their freaking mind, because all of us are consumers, and if we all got spam texts every 10 minutes throughout every single day, we would lose our minds. So so no, you're not going to get in trouble for SMS marketing. You just want to make sure you're doing it the right way and you're staying compliant. But yeah, if you do that, then you're not going to get in any trouble. So I would recommend you utilize a service like Podium that stays compliant and helps you stay compliant. Because usually businesses that get in trouble are those that, talk to the snake oil salesman that comes up to their business and says, hey, I've got 10,000 people ready to buy wood floors. I can text every single one of them for you right now. And you just pay me, this small fee. That could get you in trouble. But no, with your customers who you market to, you're going to be totally good. Okay, next myth. SMS marketing laws are too complicated to understand. That one is also false. Yeah, they're pretty easy to understand. Like Pat just said, general rule of thumb, transactional messages, you're good to send like you just did business with them. Marketing or promotional messages, you just need an opt-in. And there's a lot of ways to go about getting customers to opt in. Customers want to opt in. They've done business with you. They want to hear from you. But you need to make it easy for them to opt in. And there's a lot of different areas and ways along the customer journey for you to collect and opt in from them, which is something we can help you with. But that's really kind of the gist of it, like not that complicated. And then, next myth. SMS marketing is spam. No, that is also false. So this comes down to how are you marketing, right? If you get people to opt in to you, that's really valuable. And you should really track the type of people that are opting in and what type of business have they done with you and how long ago did they do it. So it can get to be kind of spammy if you just take your entire customer base and you just send them a marketing message once a day that's completely unrelated to anything that they would actually want. Yeah, that looks like spam, and that precious opt-in will quickly opt out if you do that. So what we recommend is be really, really intentional with how you're doing this marketing. For example, on my team, so I mentioned we work with all home services companies. So I'll use an example with roofers, which is one that I talked to. They have a marketing list of people that have opted in. If a massive hailstorm or hurricane came in, and this will apply with flooring companies too, and like hit a certain area really, really hard, that you service that area amongst many areas, but you know that area there's a lot of flooding or a lot of roof damage that may have damaged floors or whatever, send a marketing message to all those people. Like, one, asking like, hope you and your family are okay. Two, we want to help you get back on your feet really, really quick. And three, because you're a loyal customer, we're going to offer you a discount to go ahead and get on the schedule, right? That's not spam. That's very specific to a specific, situation there. So no, it doesn't all have to be spam. It doesn't all have to be spam. So that's a big false. Moving on here, kind of touched this, but spam isn't just annoying. Campaigns above a 3% unsubscribe rate put your textable phone number at risk with carriers. So what that means is the carriers, which is like your AT&T, Verizon, right? All their towers all over the country. We all rely on them. When you're sending text messages, it has to go through those towers. And if you are sending a lot of messages frequently that are kind of spammy in nature, that phone number you're sending from is going to get flagged by the carriers, and then you won't be able to send any text messages at all. You'll get cut off. So not only is it annoying for the consumer, but it is a risk to you as a business to try and do that. With that, actually, we've got some pro tips and other best practices and things that we've seen here at Podium that I'll pass to you, Pat, to kind of go over.
Awesome, Jason. Thank you, and very well done. I think that's that's a really interesting point to call out at the end. It's if you do hit above that 3% unsubscribe rate, you're at risk of losing all of your texting capabilities. That includes your transactional ones. That number is basically not usable for your business anymore. So very important to kind of respect that, understand that, and all of that's in place because we understand, if people are opening these text messages at probably almost five times more frequent rate than they open emails. There's a reason for that. It's because it's not messy, it's not crowded, it's not filled with noise. So these rules are in place to minimize that noise. And I think that that's the important thing to keep in mind. Don't make noise, send a message, provide value in your marketing messages, and you'll be totally fine. So how do we do that? Well, we have been around the block here at Podium for a while. We understand texting, we understand how this works, and we understand what works because we work with over 100,000 businesses. And we understand which campaigns are effective, which ones aren't. What are the common threads? We want to share some of that with you guys today. So, quick list here. I'll run through these quick. We have a fair bit to cover still, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So, number one, make sure you have proper consent from each recipient of the message. What does that mean? You've heard us say subscribers a lot. You must get consent from anyone that you're going to send a marketing message to, a marketing SMS message. Also, by the way, if anyone wants to answer this in the question panel real quick, bonus points, but anyone know what SMS stands for? It's short message service. And so not relevant for this, but just if anyone hears SMS and is wondering what that means, if you see that across anything, it means text message, but that's what the acronym stands for. So trivia trick for you there. Anyways, you have to gain proper consent from these people. They have to raise their hand somehow, give you their phone number and say, yep, I agree. Go ahead and send me marketing information. I want to keep up on the latest news, get discounts. You've clicked those buttons all the time. That's how your email inbox got really messy, because you've had it for decades and decades. You have to make sure as the business, if you are sending any sort of marketing message, you need express written consent to text them, particularly to text them. We can dive into that if we want to, but luckily with a solution like Podium, that's in place. And we'll kind of walk through how that happens and how Podium makes it so easy to build your subscriber base. Because like Jason said, once you have that subscriber base, you have such a great direct path to talk to your audience, offer them value, offer them discounts, grow your business, grow revenue, grow customer loyalty. We want to make sure that you can do that in a compliant, safe, awesome way. So number one, make sure you have proper consent. Number two, mention your business's name. This sounds simple, but you'd be shocked at how many people don't do this and how sketchy that looks. You've probably gotten a message like this where the business, well-intentioned or not, did not include their name. No one's going to respond. No one's going to know it's you. And there are a couple of tips and tricks on how to improve that even further. Things like saying the person's name that works at that company, like, hey, it's Jill from Ted's Tire Shop, rather than, hey, it's Ted's Tire Shop. Higher response rates, higher engagement rates. So we'll walk through some of the best practices and what that looks like. But That's number 2. Mention your business name. Super easy one. 3, alert the customer about possible messaging fees. This is anytime you hear standard messaging rates apply. You've heard that term all over the place. Important to include that. They need to know that that's a legal thing that they need to know. 4, mention the frequency of monthly messages. If you let people know that you're not going to bombard their inbox, they're far more likely to smile or internally just feel better when they get a text message from you. Be respectful of it. Understand, especially in this industry, you don't need to text them every week, right? Nobody's really doing that much work on their floors. You don't need to do that all the time. And with something like campaigns from Podium, that's our SMS marketing tool, and we'll kind of talk about it later, but you can tag and make particular lists of people. So if someone hits a year and you want to reach out to them and say, hey, it's been a year since we came out. How's everything going? Do you know anybody? Refer a friend. We'll give you a discount. We'll give them a discount. Something along those lines. You can start to segment that list, and you can make sure that you are messaging people in a not invasive, not overbearing way. So letting them know how often they can expect to hear from you, huge. Really helps your engagement rates. Next one, what is that? 5. Include the option to opt out of all future texts. This is, I'm sure everyone here has hit stop on the business texting you. Just, it's annoying. You say stop. That must be in place. You have to have that in place. Podium makes that automatic, but it's critical. And if you ever violate that, that's where TCP can also come in play. If you don't respect when someone says stop talking to me in the text message inbox, there are issues there. So we all know that before. Oh, pardon me, my dog is barking. Very important. Keep that in mind. And last one, honor the opt-outs. Same thing, right? You're respecting those people, and if you do that, we'll be okay. Jason, I'm going to hand off to you real quick. I'm going to take that dog out, and I will be right back. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, no problem. So yeah. As far as hold on, let me just pull this up here. Yeah, things to maximize your opt-ins. So you want to gather opt-ins along a natural touch points along your customer journey, as you can read right there. What does that mean? Well, there's different points that the customer is getting in touch with you or doing a transaction with you. And it's at those points that you can get opt-ins, and it feels just really natural and easy. So we have a few examples that we use, but there's even more than this. So Pat, you're back. I'll let you go through those examples on the next slide here, or anything else.
I'm back. Yeah, sincere apologies, and thanks, Jason, for that. Sorry, everybody. My dog was really passionate about SMS marketing, so my apologies. But if anyone on the line is a Podium customer, you probably have seen these before. These are a few of our products. I'll walk through the basic functionality really quickly, just to let you guys know what we're talking about here and why this matters, how to grow that opt-in list, regardless of if you're a customer or not, just to kind of get you in the right mindset of, here are times where I can actually have people opt in, become subscribers, so I can grow that base. So you see here on this list, gather opt-ins through web chat. What does that mean? Well, Podium has a product called web chat, where I'm sure everyone has seen kind of a chat bubble in the bottom right icon of a website. Podium offers a solution like that, but rather than having a web chat, like an actual chat conversation on the desktop, all that box does is route the conversation to text message, because we know that nobody wants to be tied to their desktop, tied to their computer, be waiting for someone to get back to them, not be able to go about their day. That's just not how people want to interact. So we put web chat in place to allow people to turn that conversation into a text conversation. With that said, when they do put their cell phone number into that web chat widget on the website, wouldn't that be a great place to say, hey, while you're here, just click this checkbox and opt in. We send out newsletters, we send out some awesome information for you, discount here or there. It's awesome. We won't talk to you too much. It's infrequent. We'll only send you stuff that matters. Doesn't that sound awesome? Isn't that just such a more natural way than going out of your way to say, hey, customer that I served 6 months ago, sign up for my newsletter. That's way more invasive. But if it's a natural touch point like that web chat place where they're already wanting to interact with your business, way smoother, great place to gather opt-ins. So something to think about there. Reviews. When you ask someone for a review for your business, when they go and upload that, that seems like another awesome place to say, hey, while you're here, why don't you opt in? We send awesome stuff. Something along those lines, right? They're already there. They're already thinking about your business. Hopefully, they're leaving you a positive review. You're catching them when they're thinking about all the good things your business does. Isn't that an awesome time to get them to opt in, build that list, build that loyalty from that customer? That's huge. Payments. Podium offers a few different solutions. We actually offer card readers, physical card readers that you can use both in like a stationary one and in the field. So if your techs are at a house doing a job, they can collect payment right there. Super fast, super easy. We also do text payments. So you can send the invoice via text. They can click it, super easy, very similar to a Shopify checkout experience. Once they submit that and they get the confirmation that the payment went through, well, that seems like a great time too. Why don't they opt in? If they opt in, maybe you offer them 10% off their next service. Something along those lines. Do you kind of see what I'm saying here? All these natural touch points where they're already engaging with your customer and they're probably in fond favor of you at that moment. That seems like the right time to build that list. And so Podium makes that super easy when you bring the entire platform into place. But whether you're a Podium customer or not on this call, I want you to think about that. Where are the places that seem more natural for me to build this marketing list? I think that's a really easy way to do this really quickly. And it kind of takes the scariness out of, well, how am I going to build this list? I have 0 SMS marketing subscribers. What am I going to do? It's not that hard. Just understand where the natural opportunities present themselves. And then, of course, you can get creative with it too. Online, your social media accounts, have people opt in there. Send them right to the link where they can sign up on that form. Super easy. If you have an audience there, why not just guide them to another place where you can speak to them more one-on-one, more directly. And then, of course, face-to-face. If you have any in-person events, anything along those lines, one thing that we like to tell people is to actually use that QR code, that square kind of barcode looking thing that you see a lot. Great way to just link them to a opt-in form. So easy, really, really cool way to get your subscriber list built. So keep that in mind. We'll talk to you how Podium makes that easy, but just a couple really cool things to cover there. So I'll turn it over to Jason in a second. The last thing I want to say, keep in mind, this is a marketing channel. You do pay for marketing. Like Jason said, per message, SMS marketing through Podium, really inexpensive. Not cheap, valuable, but inexpensive. The first priority is to make sure you're effective, that you're talking to the right people, you're giving them the right message at the right time. To keep those 3 things in mind, never have to worry about compliance. I mean, be mindful of it. You'll never bump into it. You'll be effective. You'll see that revenue and that customer loyalty grow. So how do we do that? Well, we'll kind of walk you through it. Jason's going to walk you through a few really good examples, things you can think about as you start to think about crafting that first message. So Jason, walk us through a few of these if you don't mind.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we got the do's and don'ts. So the first do, use conversational language. You touched on this a little bit earlier, but you don't want to sound like a robot or sound like a mass send, even though it may be a mass send, but you don't want to sound like that. Otherwise, people ignore it. So ask customer's name, your business name. Hey, this is Jill from Top Dog Flooring, right? And then like you can ask questions too. So in this example, there's we're running a promo. Thought you'd be interested. You can use that. You can also like put in like text me back if you have any questions about it, right? Second do, address customers by name. Customers feel good when you say their name. People like hearing their name. Third, send it during your business hours. So it's always strange to me, and I'll get these sometimes, marketing messages, and I never respond to them when it's like at 11 o'clock at night, or I wake up in the morning and I check my phone and I've got, messages that came in at 4 in the morning. It's like, what? That's weird. So no, send it during your business hours. You get higher response rates. And then just keep it really, really simple. So another do, keep it simple, to the point, keep it a short message, SMS, and yeah, you'll get some good response rates. And then let's see here, few other do's, provide value. So promotions are usually good, like a discount on a service that customer is likely going to want, based on everything that you have on that customer. That's good value, right? Include a CTA on the next slide. So that's a call to action, like something specific they can do to actually get that value. So that, in these examples we have is a link. So that's the call to action, is like, click this link. You can use other call to actions. If you don't want to do a link, if you want to do a phone call, do that, right? Like give us a call here, right? Or just text me back here. So there's a number of call to actions that you can do, but include it. Links are really, really like they get clicked on high and it's easier to track. So we do recommend including a link. And then we also recommend responding in real time. So there's a lot of services out there that can do and will offer SMS text marketing for you. But not a lot of them will provide a way for you to respond back to that customer. They're usually like one-way messages from you, the business, and require the customer to click the link. And a lot of customers, if you keep this conversational and you want to get the highest results, you want to have something for them, like when they do text back, that you can respond back pretty quickly, and it's alerting the right people on your team. So that's a big do that we recommend. And then the last big do is tracking it all. You want to have great reporting on the different campaign messages you're sending out, so you can track how well they do. And then make adjustments from there, right? And maybe try wording something slightly different, right? And get creative as a business owner of how you're sending it and track where the improvement happens. So yeah, those are the big do's. And then we have a few don'ts that we found as a company. And Pat, I'll let you go over the don'ts.
Thank you. I actually love going over the don'ts. I think this is, since if I have to do compliance, which is not the sexiest topic ever, I like the don'ts because you at least get a laugh out of it, hopefully. So don't send too frequently. I'm sure this has happened to you one way or another. Email, even direct note, getting the same thing over and over, but don't do this. Don't say, hey. It's not gonna help. It's not gonna do anything for you. It's a waste of your marketing dollars. It really tests the patience of your audience. Nobody's going to convert on that. Be reasonable, especially in this market. It's not an everyday purchase. It's not an every week purchase. This is not the supermarket grocery industry. This is flooring. Be intelligent about how frequently you're sending. Don't use slang. Conversational language is one thing, slang is another. This is really not what you want to send in a marketing message. A lot of you are working with homeowners, potentially a particular demographic, income level, etc. Doesn't really matter. Slang is just not a good look for very many businesses at all. You'd be shocked how often people think that they're being cute in marketing, and it turns out something like this. We've all seen businesses' tweets go bad doing things like this. Don't be that business. Look professional, look conversational. That's who you want to be. Sending messages like this, not super fun. Don't use all caps. It's tempting sometimes. You're excited about what you're offering your customer. I get it. Don't do that. This is not a marketing example. This is just a funny example of how all caps messaging can look really intense. There was a New York City pilot test of running texting to the 911 number to see if it was providing any sort of benefit for the community. Once someone actually, so that first message you see from them, NYC 911, that's an automated message, obviously. Once someone actually comes in, they can only use caps lock. They can't do anything else. Do you see how terrifying that is? You can see it from the person whose phone this actually is. It says, no, why are you screaming? Chill, got it. You can see how that just comes off as not the message you want to be getting across. A word in caps, to kind of show if you're saying we have some amazing deals and you say amazing in all caps, that's one thing. Don't do it for the whole sentence. It looks like something's just off. And you guys know what I'm talking about there, right? That we've all seen those messages kind of come across. They look unprofessional. They look like there's kind of a loss of confidence over what you're saying, and you're hiding behind capital letters. So don't do that. Don't forget to identify yourself. We talked about this earlier. But say, hey, use their name, also use your name. And in some of the research we did last year, a lot of people on my team, we did some research, and like I said earlier, if you identify yourself, the human being, hey, this is Jamie at Ascension Flooring. If there's a Jamie from Ascension Flooring here, I hopefully just blew your mind. I haven't seen the list, but say who you are. Let them know who you are. That really helps. They'll say, oh yeah, I opted into getting these messages. Let's see what they have going on. They did such a great job at my house last time. Let's see what's going on. Don't ignore the opt-in and opt-out rules. I'm back to compliance, but this is really important. Do not forget about that. Do not buy lists. Do not message anybody who is not giving you express written text marketing consent. It's one thing, and we kind of talk about this, you need that specific text consent. So you never want to be in this situation. This puts your business is liable in a situation like this if you never had their consent. This is kind of the best outcome from the situation. If they say, please stop messaging me, they could actually file some grievance against your company. There could be actual ramifications for something like this. So this is a good outcome of the situation. Don't ever put yourself in this situation. Don't sound like a mass text. The beauty of a solution like Podium is that we help you send texts in mass that seem very personal. You can send a message and say, hey, put a token in that says first name. It'll go through your list of subscribers, pull the first name value, and so it'll say, hey, Jason, hey, Pat, hey, Kim. It'll say that person's name, helps it feel really special, unique. You should not say, would you like some deals or specials? You should say what the deals and specials are so you seem like a human being. Don't sound like a robot. There's, the beauty of SMS marketing, I've said it 100 times on this call, but the beauty of it is that it is an intimate solution. It's an intimate place for someone to talk to you. Treat it that way. Treat them like a human being that you want to have a real conversation with. This all comes down to the idea of market like a human. It sounds so simple, but it's misdone so often. You can gather these customer details when you have someone sign up as a subscriber, as an opted-in audience member. You can get their name, you can get whatever information you want. If you want their birthday, their location, the last time they bought from you, there are solutions like Podium that help you gather all of this, help you know their relationship with your business, and then you can act that way. So you can see on the right here, there's a promotion going on for a 4th of July sale. Just respond with July 25. It's good for all these services. They get it going. You can see that Tina actually did make a purchase from this business, from Greenwood. She paid over text to pay through Podium. You get the receipt there. They left a 5-star review. All of this happened all through Podium because the first original campaign, the SMS marketing message, was so good. It was exactly what Tina needed when she needed it. And it was the exact thing that she wanted. So we'll run through these quick. I know we're short on time. I'm sorry about that. We'll give a couple examples here. I'll kind of run us through product promotions. If you have a new, if you have any type of new service, new product, anything you want to get on the market, great way to use a marketing campaign. Hey, it's Kara from Ascension Flooring. We just launched our spring break specials. Get 3 flooring samples free with code SPRING. Something along those lines, right? Very straightforward one there. If you have any sort of service or maintenance programs, if you're coming to take care of the floors, you can use that as a reason to send a marketing campaign. Have you heard about our service program? Just let us know. We can let you know what it's all about. Happy to send that off. And then just a couple real life examples here from our flooring customers. We took these from some of our awesome customers, and these have worked really well, some of our top performing ones in the flooring space. So just reply to this marketing message for $100 off and a free Amazon gift card, just for getting a free quote. The second one, this particular business had a presence at an expo. They gathered some opt-ins there, and they sent out a message just saying, hey, it was awesome to meet you, and here's a little offer. Do you want to do business with us? And then the last one, if one floor, if one room, or even if one house or one location, et cetera, if there's an opportunity to expand the work they've done, awesome way to use a campaign in flooring, right? Now's the time to expand your new hardwood floors into the other rooms of your home. The way you have this information is actually really interesting. It's something Podium has in it called tags. So you can set up any sort of segmentation on this big group of subscribers that you have. So maybe some of them are landlords, or maybe some of them did $50,000 in business with you. If there's any sort of information that you want to know to kind of bucket a certain subset of your subscribers together, this is an awesome way to do it. Tags help you get that really refined list so you can send an even more relevant, even more timely message to your audience. It's huge. So the possibilities are really endless there. And so this is kind of where this all funnels into, Podium Campaigns. We launched Podium Campaigns early last year. exactly for these reasons. We wanted to give our customers and local businesses everywhere the ability to not only just converse, which we've been doing with them for 7-8 years now, but we wanted to actually let them grow their business through SMS marketing too, not just serve every customer really well, but serve them over and over again, get bigger totals, get more revenue, get more customer loyalty. And so Podium Campaigns helps people do that. It helps them put their marketing hat on in a safe, effective, compliant way that's really effective, has high open rates. Everything we've talked about funnels right into this product. And so you can see you can quickly build text campaigns. It's such an easy interface. You can gather opt-ins along the customer journey. We talked about that, right? At the review stage, the payment stage, the web chat stage, all of that kind of stuff. And you can continue that conversation from the same inbox. Jason mentioned this a minute ago, but there are a lot of SMS marketing providers, and a lot of them will say that they can do it for cheaper than Podium or cheaper than a lot of the big players in the space. That's true, but they can only send those kind of batch and blast messages, and that's fine. But especially for local business, part of what makes local business so special is the interpersonal relationship you can create with your customers. Having the ability to have both the marketing message and a real one-to-one communication in that same thread, that's kind of a game changer. And I hope after everything that we've talked through, you kind of see why. Mm-hmm. And if it's taken in context of the entire Podium platform, you start to see, as we've talked about the different opt-in points, you can see that Podium itself has everything that the local business like yours needs to win in this market. And so I want to thank you guys so much, and I want to say just a couple more things. We work with over 2,000 flooring businesses and over 100,000 across the United States and Canada and Australia. We're so committed to the local business. We understand what a unique situation it is to be a local business, owner potentially, and we want to be there to help you because we saw a long time ago in the market, our CEO, his dad owned a tire shop, and he just saw that businesses like that, local businesses, were not getting the same attention in the technological innovation space that they really deserve. Local business is the backbone of our economy, and we wanted to make sure that they had a level playing field against some of these big players. And so we're proud of the work we do. We work with, like I said, 100,000 businesses, 2,000 in your industry. We'd love to talk to you about anything, any thought leadership, if you're interested in Podium, anything at all. We'd love to chat with anybody after this after this call, but we just want to thank you so much. If you want to follow this link to get kind of a bit more SMS marketing 101 ideas, get a little bit more information around compliance, TPCA, best practices, good examples, thought leaders in the space telling you how to kind of go about this, going from 0 subscribers to however many you can really gather. Encourage you to follow that link there. Just do bit.ly/SMS-marketing-101. And with that, I want to thank you from Jason and I's perspective. Absolute blast being with you today, and we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. That is a lot of really interesting and useful information to digest. I really didn't know that much about it before. You mentioned earlier, if a customer has an existing database, like say I'm a wood floor contractor or retailer and I have a big email list, can I start doing a text message to my email people?
Yes, okay, good. I kind of alluded to this a couple times. I'm glad someone picked up on it. No, you cannot just turn your email opt-in list into an SMS opt-in list. They're kind of two different governing bodies taking care of these. If anyone heard about GDPR kind of taking over in the EU last year, that was an email regulation that went into place, and it affected companies globally, but anyone doing business in Europe had to abide by that law. There are very similar laws in the United States. That one was kind of the flashy one, but they are distinctly different from text messaging regulations. So no, you cannot bring that message over into your, you cannot bring your email opt-in list into your SMS opt-in list. What you can do is get creative on how you are talking to people over text. If someone does inbound, like we said, there are so many different touch points that you can get. If someone does reach out to your business, if you have those pieces in place, like Podium allows you to do, where if they do business with you and have a review, if they reach out to you via web chat, if they make a payment, there are all these places where you can gather those opt-ins. And if you have an open conversation with anybody, you're welcome to send them the opt-in form to sign up for your SMS marketing list. But short answer, you need to keep those two separate. You need to get separate consent in your SMS space.
So what if, say I have a customer who's opted in, and then at some point they decide to opt out, would that then exclude me from communicating with them about, you know, just regular everyday business transactions or things like that?
Jason, you want to take that one?
What was that?
Yeah, no, so that it will not exclude them from receiving other text messages from you. So again, when we looked at, you know, the laws and compliance and regulations, they're different types of messages. So consumer you can still text them as a business for, you know, your transactional things that you're doing, and have them opt out of the marketing messages. So that's not going to affect that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Where, what would you recommend as far as like if I'm a contractor or a retailer, and like where would I even begin? Like what, is there a certain campaign that you recommend if someone wanted to start?
This is a great resource, actually, the one that's still on the screen, this SMS Marketing 101, or this Ultimate Guide to SMS Marketing, rather. There are some really good, like, baked-in campaigns there. One thing that Podium has been working on for a long time, too, is industry-specific campaign templates within the Podium platform. I know we sound like a Podium billboard right now. I think we're just biased and excited about what's going on over here, but we have done a ton of research on a lot of our key industries that we work with to make sure we know the exact use cases for how they're going to want to market to their audiences via SMS. And we've been actually able to build out templates within the platform. So if someone who has never ran an SMS marketing campaign before signs up for Podium, goes into campaigns, it'll actually show them a few awesome examples that we've seen work for other customers of ours that they can just click on. It'll kind of set it up in the composer for them. They can tweak it as much as they want, add particular personalization features if they want to, get the list loaded, get everything ready, and go ahead and send that off. It can happen within 10 minutes and they can start to see the results there. So highly recommend that. We have a ton of resources on the Podium website. If you go to just podium.com, there's a resources section. We have a great blog. We have great ebooks, one-pagers, everything along those lines. We're super excited about this. We think campaigns is really just kind of a missing piece in the entire text message area. So highly recommend you check any of that out. Totally free, nothing there. And we also have a free trial on our platform as well. If you go to podium.com, you can click start free trial. Tons of great walkthroughs in the product to show you how this is actually done.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think we've reached our time limit, but thank you so much for all your insights and your expertise. It's really been interesting to hear about. And
Awesome.
Let everyone know who registered that the recording of this presentation will be available, will be emailed to them on Monday if there's anything they want to refer back to or learn more about.
Sweet. Okay. Well, thank you, Kim. Thanks for having us.
Thanks so much, Kim.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.